What's up guys, Foxen here. We got Attack on Titan Season 2 Episode 10. This one titled Children. Alright, so let's get down to it. Most of this episode was really focused on Ymir, and I'm not really sure that's a good thing, but I'll get back to this. Before that, we do have to address the big elephant in the room, or the big Titan. At the very beginning, Hanji's assistant made it back to the village and they found that Titan. Come on, they're really trying to hammer it into everyone. I wonder why this Titan that appeared from Komi's house looks like the mother, has the same eyes, seems to address Komi. At this point, they were making it way too obvious, and even before this it was already pretty clear. Titans are people, or are born from them. Alright, so before we get to Ymir, one more thing. Eren trying to beat up Reiner. Unfortunately, that was an epic fail on his part, and he just looks so silly. I really can't blame him though, it's not like he could do much at all in that state. Perhaps he should have tried to take out Reiner's eyes. But really, Eren was really trying to start this round 2 way too early. I'm telling you Eren, you need to be more patient. He has to wait to completely heal. Otherwise, there's always that possibility that Reiner's just gonna cut him more and more. If that happens, he's gonna be completely screwed for the final fight. Alright, so now for the big part of this episode, Ymir and her backstory, or at least part of it. So they touch on it at the very beginning of this episode very briefly and then go into it. She mentions about being stuck outside the walls for over 60 years. When she said that I was like, what? But she goes into more detail, making this comment about how it was a nightmare that just wouldn't end. This of course I could only imagine her referring to that Titan state. And about Ymir's flashback, which was something I was expecting to get last episode or way before this. So it appears when Ymir was super young, she got taken in by this cult, I want to say. They made her take on this role as being their king, leader, or queen. Here is where Ymir had to lie and take on this burden of supposedly having royal blood within her. And just a side note about this cult, is this supposed to be that cult of Titan worshippers that existed long ago? So far I only heard about them in the novels. But anyway, this whole flashback should have been over 60 years ago, according to her. But of course it's all cult stew, eventually they pissed someone off. It seems like they got in trouble with the royal government and they got punished. As punishment, they got banished and Titan cursed? This part is unclear. Right now the question is whether this was the military's doing, or was there something special about this cult? They also did reveal in that intermission card that Ymir's homeland is outside of the walls. So if this was 60 years ago, this means the walls did exist at that point. So who the hell are these people and where are they? At least this does help to give some explanation about that Titan from the OVA. That Titan should have been a worshipper of Ymir. I guess that scout just got lucky because she kind of looked like Ymir, just a little less tanned. As for Ymir's Titan form, you see Ymir become that big-headed Titan. I don't really know what you do once you become a Titan. Do you just roam around? It seemed like Ymir was doing just that. And just who knew that Titans needed sleep, because that's what Ymir was doing. Was Ymir really dormant for 60 plus years in that piece of land? Either way, they do go ahead and explain more of what happened to Reiner's brother. When they were younger, Ymir happened to wake up at that time and just ate someone. Unfortunately for Reiner and friends, they just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. Anyway, sometime after that event, Ymir went back to being human. I'm not sure if this is related to her having a snack. One interesting part about this is that I guess being a Titan makes you immortal now, or at least it makes you not age. The current Ymir does seem to be the same age as before she went into Titan mode over 60 years ago. But who knows, she really doesn't look past 18. As for Ymir's connection to Krista, aka Historia, that they bring up again, Ymir does mention how they have a super similar situation. I really just don't know how much of this is actually true. It instead sounds like Ymir is desperately trying to connect their situations just to have someone to connect to. But who knows again. I'm sure there's still a lot to be revealed for Krista. As for the ending of this episode, I can't say that I'm really too surprised to see Ymir's side with Reiner. She's way too obsessed with Krista. Unfortunately her plans seemed to work. She was waiting there and swallowed up that blonde girl, right in one gulp. Before that though, wasn't Connie awfully trusting to Ymir? Yeah, let's go ahead and kick this Titan in the head that could freaking climb trees. Best idea ever. If Ymir was pissed off, she could have swatted Connie like a fly. Or forget about that, instead have him as a snack. Alright, so at the very end, we have Hannes. Yeah, really don't say that line. Major death flag right there. Either way, that's coming up. Only 2 episodes to go. It's coming down to the wire. So it seems the final showdown is going to be Reiner and the Colossal Titan plus Ymir versus Eren? It should be, but Eren's still knocked out at this point. Alright, so let me know how you felt about this episode. Did you enjoy it more than last week's? Last week's it was just super slow. I think it was the worst of season 2 easily. It is interesting how we're getting more information about the Titans and Ymir's backstory now. I'm still not sure whether that's necessarily a good thing. It just seems weird how they did structure the story. I mean, Ymir and Krista have been there since season 1. One was really a minor character, and the second one really didn't even exist. Not until season 2. Right now, I'm really just finding it hard to get invested in Ymir's character. But who knows, let's see what happens in 2 more episodes. As always, if you did enjoy this episode, be sure to give a colossal thumbs up and subscribe. I highly recommend checking out my latest Attack on Titan video, 10 Attack on Titan facts you didn't know. I'm sure you'll enjoy that. So check that out and I'll see you guys later.